Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Welcome. This whole thing with Rick Ross has gotten insane with Drake. Since the incident happened yesterday, where Rick Ross did a festival in Vancouver, he came out to Toronto and then he played the song Not Like Us at the end of his set. And everybody went up in arms. And allegedly, the biker gang, Hell's Angels, were there and they decided to get physical and start a physical altercation with Rick Ross and his friends, which led to one of his friends being knocked out completely. And since that went viral, it went on the news, Drake and 50 Cent laughing, videos about it. And most people in America who's Black don't really know too much about him. Then in that Family Matters video, a lot of people have been informing me that that guy, who the white guy in there with the red rag around his head, is actually one of the members of the Toronto members of the biker gang that's called the Hell's Angels. And these Hell's Angels have been known to cause a lot of problems and commit a lot of crimes. And they're known as a racist gang, a racist biker gang. Now, why would Drake be affiliated with them is alarming enough. But now the Canadian police is looking into more of Drake's connections to this situation because this hurts their events. This hurts a lot of the things that are transpiring. Rick Ross did not press charges. Mm-hmm. Rick Ross did not press charges. Absolutely. Well, that's what I do. I investigate. So somebody's like, how do you get information so fast? Well, I investigate, sir. That's what a good person who does their job is supposed to do. Now, Drake's connections are even weird after 2 of his alleged friends were allegedly murdered by this gang. It's very disturbing that he would even be affiliated with such a person. Now, why would Drake be affiliated with so many people? Now, the Toronto Police Department even gotten involved. The sergeant was ticked off about it. He was really hot at Drake wearing their merchandise and wearing their hoodies to a racist biker gang. Yep, Lindsay Halferton, a Black staff sergeant in Toronto, came out and said a lot of these different things. And the Toronto police chief, Mark Saunders, said he went to Twitter. I don't even know why he's on Twitter, said any endorsement, no matter its form, for a criminal organization is frustrating for all law enforcement, including TPS. Now, the Staff Sergeant Lindsay Lofton said that BC's provincial anti-gang agency also spoke out. And that's what's going on around here. They want individuals like Drake to wear their paraphernalia and propaganda to portray a positive image to counteract and provide a counter message to messages and reporting from the media and police on, quite frankly, from the victims who they've impacted. And they're disappointed because Drake was given the key to the city in 2016 by Mayor John Tory, and therefore should be more aware of the city's issues and how to minimize them instead of furthermore intensifying the situation. Now, Drake wearing that apparel may make his fans of his music want to wear that apparel, and they could be targeted by gang rivals. So that's why there's a major concern and why they're investigating Drake's involvement with this. By wearing gang attire, Drake is now endorsing the behavior that comes along with it. Now, these are messages from the cops themselves. This is from the police department, period. This isn't Carcino talking blah, blah, blah. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm not giving you my personal feelings about the situation. Even though my personal feelings is like, why are you doing this? Like, what is the point? He said, HD Vision, thanks for the super chat. He says, Rick Ross isn't one of my favorite people, but for Drake, who is biracial, makes himself look extremely bad for entertaining a racist group, let alone teaming up with Tia Kemp to get back at Ross. Damn, Drake, you lame for this. Well, he said Drake isn't black, so there is no problem. Well, here's the thing. Drake carries himself or want people to look at him and affiliate himself as black. Remember, he says, I identify as black. I identify as a black man. So why would a black man be endorsing a racist biker gang who doesn't want black members? You can't be a member of the Hells Angels if you are black. That's what they said. You can be an affiliate. Now, the gang has also been wearing, a lot of them wore the Chicago Bulls black and red pinstripes jerseys with the Dennis Rodman jerseys. They sold heavy in Toronto. Dennis Rodman jersey was sold over there, and it had 91 on, he wore 91 for the Bulls. They would wear that constantly in Canada for the biker gangs, the Hells Angels. They used those colors and they would flaunt that. And people and fans of the team who just like basketball would get attacked by the rival gang members of the Hells Angels. James says, I'm Canadian. I know the laws here are a joke. But Drake had two friends who were allegedly attacked and lost their life by this gang. The same gang he's endorsed, which makes no sense to a lot of people involved. What happened to mob ties? They don't have Canadian citizenship. So when you're over there, you're white. When you cross the border over here, you're black. Oh, that's how that biracial thing works. Okay, you could turn it on and off. He says, so Obama isn't black either, I guess. No, he's mixed. He was the mixed candidate when he was running for office. And then when he won the nomination, he became black. When he was running for office, he was the mixed candidate. People forget about that. Then he became black overnight. Drake is mixed. He's black and Jewish. For those who wanted to know. Yes, it's a lot of people who have lost their lives during to this biker gang. A lot of racial attacks that has happened and lost a lot of lives from people. And for Drake to be endorsing it, the Toronto Police Department, the BC is looking into it, and the Canadian police are looking more into Drake's involvement into this situation because they don't want this to get out of hand. And a lot of people not wanting to travel to come there because they feel unsafe. The actions of a few affecting the many. There's a lot of people who showed up there who wanted to see a good concert. And did not deserve to have what happened transpire. And with Drake running side by side with a group that appears to be in nature not like us. The people that normally hang with them have a certain attitude. Now, look at this.
Hells Angels for protection, and they are a racist gang in Canada. So Drake used the leader of the Hells Angels in one of his music videos to intimidate his rivals. Drake also wears Hells Angels clothing, but the reality is Drake grew up in one of the nicest and wealthiest neighborhoods of Toronto, Forest Hill. In 2015, two of Drake's fans were pew-pewed outside an OVO after party, and Drake never cooperated with police to help bring justice to these families. The deaths remain unsolved, and there's speculation it may be gang-related.
Now, two of Drake's friends, male and female, lost their life at an OVO party.
So by wearing gang-related clothing and associating yourself with gangs, you are directly supporting illegal activities such as trafficking, and they may be putting themselves and others around them at risk of being targeted. So Drake, in the meantime, has asked the
So yep. So this explains why the hidden children, the hidden agendas, and everything else we saw and seen from Drake so far. James says, I'm from Canada. I know the laws here are a joke. See, here's the problem that they're faced with. A lot of the fans like to see people travel to Canada to see their, their favorite artists. Not all their favorite artists are from their country. They like the same things that everybody else like. They want to see these artists come to their town. They don't want to have people canceled because of Drake and his friends. You think people in Toronto wouldn't want to see Kendrick Lamar come there to perform? You think Kendrick don't have fans in Toronto or Montreal and Vancouver? Mm-hmm. Well, this guy says a 81 in biker gangs means a supporter. Drake is not a member, but supporter of the Hells Angels in Canada. That's exactly what we were saying. They don't take black candidates. I mean, there's no black members of the Hells Angels. They will not accept you. So you could only be a supporter. Now, why would somebody black want to support a group of people that won't allow you to be a member of it? Or a person who says they identify as being black. If you identify as being black, why would you do something that would be counterproductive to the race? And don't do something that is not indicative of someone of color. I find it very odd. I find that very strange. It's always the people that say these type of things that are not usually, abundant in this situation is well, their problem is different. Drake looks at this and this means nothing to him. I look at this and says, this is something that's been going on for a while. Drake didn't start doing this. It's getting magnified now because of the popularity of Not Like Us. Not like us, and Kendrick Lamar has been allowed to.
Drake did a video dissing Kendrick Lamar called Family Matters. In that video, a Hell's Angel Montreal president is spotted. There's a conversation with them going on. A lot of years ago, when I first started this channel, we talked about Drake wearing Hell's Angel supporter gear. A lot of people are starting to question, is he an undercover member of the club? Drake did a video dissing Kendrick Lamar called Family Matters. In that video, a Hell's Angel Montreal president is spotted. There's a conversation with them going on. A lot of years ago, when I first started this channel.
Now, Drake can't be a member because Drake is of color, according to their own creed. Now, we never said anything about Drake and which direction he want to go, if he want to go this way or that way. We never had any involvement in the situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, when you look at the bigger picture, what are you going to be left with? 81, they bring the crushes to the party. He said that in God's Plan, 81. I don't even remember the lyrics to God's Plan. I'm serious. I don't even remember the lyrics. But when the Toronto police is speaking out about this gang, Hell's Angels, it's nothing nice. And for Drake to be signing autographs, decked out in their gear as a supporter to a racist biker gang. He keeps telling the world who he is, how he moves, and how he motivates. For those of you who got here late, the police chief is Mark Saunders, right? And Toronto police chief came out and said, any endorsement, no matter its form, for a criminal organization is frustrated for all law enforcement, including TPS. Staff Sergeant Lindsay Lofton of BC's probably anti-gang agency spoke out and said they want individuals like Drake wearing their paraphernalia and propaganda. They want to portray a positive image to counteract and provide a counter message and messages in reporting from the media and police, and quite frankly, from the victims they've impacted. So they want Drake and all these other people with all this popularity wear and support us, and they don't afford to pay you. What they do is say, hey, we'll protect you. Now, John Tory in 2016 who's the mayor of Toronto, gave Drake the key to the city. So for him to have the key to the city and be supporting gangs that terrorize the entire neighborhood or the areas. Now, some of you say, well, that's counterbalance. Kendrick Lamar is a blood. Kendrick Lamar does not dress himself in their attire and their gear. They wear colors. Colors can mean anything. I've seen Kendrick Lamar wear a blue LA hat. I've seen him wear all black, red. I've seen him wear purple. I've seen him wear different clothing. So you can't really identify him and say, well, he came up in a blood neighborhood and he was around a bunch of bloods, but he identifies them as people. He doesn't champion behavior of violence. He unified these people in different gangs on stage with NBA basketball players and other multi-million-dollar celebrities, all on stage as one. There is a major difference from unifying people to using people to go out to commit violence against others. And now with this attack on Rick Ross by an apparent racist biker gang, why would a man who says he identifies as being black identify himself with a racist gang who says you can be a supporter but never a member because of your being black? Yeah, like they say, are you Aubrey's Angels? 81 downtown Toronto support. Yeah, it's terrible. If you're an artist like that, and then Drake is putting other people in danger, such as Travis Scott when they came there. Travis Scott at the time was the biggest selling artist, and he was sporting a Toronto's Big Red Machine number 81 sweatshirt. He don't know what's going on. So what is Drake trying to start his own chapter? He's the Aubrey's Angels. We're going to be like Aubrey's Angels. We're going to have our own motorcycle bikes and we can ride side by side because we can't really join them. Like, why would anybody, black, even want to be associated? Because we wouldn't. He does. Vince Hawks, who's the OPP commissioner, said it's disappointing. Anybody wearing biker colors is concerning for law enforcement, and especially the OPP Biker Enforcement Unit. See, that's what they have out there. They have a biker enforcement unit, and they monitor and coordinate with all law enforcement activities concerning outlaw motorcycle gangs. And there's nothing entertaining about this, they said. And that's what Ontario's top cop says. OPP is the Ontario police. That's the big guns. And they keep telling y'all, wearing gang-related clothing and paraphernalia, it may seem harmless, but by purchasing these items, you are directly supporting illegal activity, such as trafficking and violence. And they may have been putting everybody else at risk by being targeted by rival outlaw motorcycle gangs. People just think Hell's Angels is just it. They have rival motorcycle gangs too. And they saying we're talking about organized crime groups. And Carol Dion, who's the staff sergeant of OPP, said this stuff, buying biker gang clothing means supporting criminals. The mayor isn't going to comment on his clothing, said Don Pete, who's the spokesman for the mayor, John Tory. He says the mayor just isn't going to respond on comments about Drake's clothing. So the mayor is definitely in the pocket. So, yeah, they said there's nothing illegal about it, so I will leave it up to the others to comment on his clothing choices. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs in entertainment or the Toronto Raptors haven't even spoken on the situation yet, but they've been contacted about Drake's affiliation with the biker gang. And they have a Toronto citizen, Steve Smith, whose stepdaughter recently died of overdose. And she wrote the mayor saying, he wrote the mayor saying, since he obviously supports the Hells Angels, he should have the key to the city honor revoked. Drake didn't even respond to any of the comments through his management or through social media. Yep, but they have booster not shorts, but shirts that are sold at Route 81 in Toronto on Carlaw Ave, just around the corner from their clubhouse. And that clubhouse was eventually seized after crimes they had committed within the situation of they had to raid and take that place down. They also have a hooded picture of R.B. Drake Graham wearing the 81, and they're selling it online for $28. The 8 represents the 8th letter in the alphabet, H, and the 1 represents the letter A for Hells Angels. The picture has stirred up police and on the other side of the country as well. Why is Drake wearing and supporting Hells Angels and wearing hoodies? This is the biggest story in Vancouver. And now with this Rick Ross attack and his problem with Rick Ross over this song by Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, being played and being attacked by the Hells Angels, who wouldn't have never attended a Rick Ross concert, is seemingly under the influence that he was sent by they were sent by the sixth God himself to go and disrupt that event. That is what people are assuming. That's what people are believing that happened. And it has turned into a negative affair when it comes to Drake, and his career has taken a dark turn. The Hell Angels don't have blacks. You're right. They only have supporters. If you black, they would allow you to be a supporter only. How am I playing detective when I'm reading what the actual police department is saying? This is coming from the police department. If you're from Canada, you know where Warmington is, don't you? Well, all right. This is what they're saying. They also said this: Drake has an album called Mob Ties on a Scorpion album, which is a commercial success. But this was an interesting wardrobe choice since Drake's own city. This has been a summer of 71 murders, which resulted in victims that have links to Drake or his business. On May 21st, Jayden Jackson was shot 20 times after leaving a Drake co-owned Pick Six restaurant downtown. Drake also showed condolences for the rapper Smoke Dogg after he was allegedly a Halak gang member and was gunned down in the entertainment district along with producer Ernest Koba Prime on June 30th. Other murders who have connected to Drake include Ariana Navarro and Duval Herbert, who were shot and mortally wounded at a music nightclub on the CNE grounds on August the 5th at a hip hop star's OVO after party. Drake Fellows OVO stage mate, former friend Anthony Fifth, was gunned down also. It adds up to 6 dead in the city. Drake's nickname is the Six. Mm-hmm. Now, you see? Yeah, he told him. I hate when they rap or talk about guns and someone dies, they turn into nuns. Pray for my city. They doing it for likes and digital hugs. This is your answer to that. Rest in peace to one of our family members. I still can't believe this morning is real. All the memories we shared together. Wow. Yeah, so It's sad. Yeah, they had Canadian rappers on that festival as well. It wasn't just a Rick Ross performance. It was other artists there who performed too. And this hurts them. If Drake made that call to have a racist white gang go to a hip hop concert, like why would the Hells Angels be at a hip hop concert? That isn't their music of choice. Hmm. I think it's pitiful that Drake, as big as he is as an artist, is taking this route. You're one of the biggest artists in the world, dog. What are you doing? That's what we talk about, the harmfulness of what other people are doing in the industry, and they're ruining themselves. Yeah, well, there have been numerous attacks on people's character, numerous attacks on people's personality. Yeah, but you got to think, if you can't rap battle, this is a rap battle. If you beefing with Rick Ross, and if you want to do it on the mic, all you got to do is ignore him. Rick Ross is a nobody. You just made him into a somebody. Hit the like button, good people. Thanks to everybody who super chatted, came in showing love to the channel. If you want to donate to the Cash App, it's Carcino. Definitely hit the like button so they can know that you're real. No. Drake has, in 1 month, he got a whole bunch of problems coming. And if you on the Patreon, you'll start to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. Rick Ross said he'll be back to Vancouver. So if that now they know what to be looking for. You know, it was very fortunate that nobody was mortally wounded at that party. But their affiliation, a motorcycle hate club, why would you be associated with them? They got weird cases. Why is you around? That's the biggest thing. Why are you there, Drake? If you're not going to battle Rick Ross, which you shouldn't, leave it alone. And what do you think this is going to mean for you and your friends when you go and travel abroad? Gregory Woodley was one of the biggest gangsters in Canada, and they Hell Angels and black. I don't know who Gregory Woodley is. But according to their bylaws, you can't be a Hell's Angel member and be black. But if you're from Canada, you would know. You know, that's just their bylaws from what we looked up and what we studied from them. That blacks can be affiliated, but not members. Mm-hmm. Well, that's mm. Don't know anything about him. I tried to look him up, can't find nothing about him. So don't know anything about that guy. But I have somebody look into it. Mm-hmm. Well, when people decide they're ready to move into another direction, then maybe we'll see something, you know. But until then, who knows? I don't think of Drake that way, bro. Okay, Gregory Woolley, the one who died in a shooting, right? I see him with a jacket. Mm-hmm. Last time that we checked, this has been the notion. No, they don't say. They say he was associated with the Hells Angels motorcycle group. They don't say he's a member. So I'm looking right at him. I'm gonna pull it up on the big screen so that we all can take a look. Yep, thanks again for the super chat. Yeah, I know. We're looking at it right now. So I'll share it with you. So we'll see it all together. So that's allegedly him in a jacket. But like they said, he was an affiliate. They broke down the whole organization. Gregory Wood, who was affiliate. Now, why would this black man be affiliated? Because he was getting money. His criminal record is longer than my stick. So why would a black man want to be associated with a black gang? I mean, with a all white gang that don't want black members. Oh yeah, drugs and money. The illegal activity, they didn't care. All of a sudden, race don't matter no more when it's about money and drugs. But what did that get him? Deceased. So other chapters could do so. Their bylaw says, "Oh, he's dead." Yeah, he's gone. That's what criminal activity gets you. Death or jail. Why would Kendrick bring gangs together? Why not? Why don't Drake try to bring the Hells Angels and all the other biker gangs together so they won't harm each other and try to take each other's lives anymore? Why don't he do something like that? Why don't you do that at your OVO Fest, Drake? Why don't you try to bring people together? He can't even highlight and bring Toronto together. Right. Kendrick was promoting peace and unification, not declarations of war and violence. Drake want to do it because he think it's cool. That makes him tough. The Hell Angels won't come to Compton. No, that's when he want to go get other black folks. Then that's when he want to go grab mob ties or somebody and then have them go over there and risk their lives and possibly go to jail or killed over his nonsense. All right, this is supposed to be a rap battle. This is supposed to be about skills. This is supposed to be about, right. If you can't beat the guy skill for skill, then what is you doing? Why are you doing this for? If you don't have the skills to compete, say, hey, man, I can't compete with this guy. He says the Vancouver chapter had a black Fruity Patch member for years. In Canada, gang politics is different of that of the States. Probably. But I'm going to tell you like this. Their bylaw says they can't have black members. Only they can be affiliated, but not actual members. You can be a supporter, but nothing other than. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Now, there's many people who need to yeah, they need to see that. They need to see unification. They need to see people in a positive message come together and do something constructive. Drake is not being a man. As a man, he should have embraced. Mhm. Mhm. Now, right. Be a man in the situation and not a mouse. See, cowards get people killed. Men try to unify. Even in mobsters and mob bosses, they just didn't go to war. There was sit downs. If there was problems within the organization, they have a sit down. They would have to hash out what the problem is. War was the last resort. Violence was the last resort. When that was the first option, that was problems ensued. Things people had to try to make that right. There were sit downs. There were meetings. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said his ego is crushed right now. Why would you want to be associated with that for your legacy if you got the key to the city and you got people who are demanding that they get Drake give it back? They want Drake to give the key to the city back. They don't think he deserves it. You think everything equates to money. Well, there's different occasions for everything, you know. Many people don't get or understand the reasoning why people make such rash decisions, but Drake know what he's done. He knows what he's doing. He loves these digital, making him seem tough when his whole life. Yeah, Mm-hmm. Yeah, people see it all the time. When you start thinking about the Hells Angels in Canada and Drake in the Hells Angels in Canada, that's what you want that to be your connection.
Young Thug will appear in court this morning. The rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams Jr., was arrested Monday on a 56-count racketeering indictment.
That indictment alleges his YSL record label is a criminal street gang that has committed murder, assault, and threats of violence.
And it started as early as the late 1960s, when the Rolling Stones partnered with the Hells Angels for security. Since then, the worlds of music and biker clubs have crossed paths more times than you might think. And today, we want to explore the story of a Canadian rapper who has repeatedly dropped hints suggesting an affiliation with the Hells Angels.
He tends to lean towards the Bloods. He wears red most of the time.
Okay.
Even at a Blue Jays game, you'll see that he'll have something red, or he'll wear the one that they wear on Canada Day.
While these hints went largely unnoticed for years, recent events have brought them into the spotlight, prompting closer scrutiny.
With the ongoing longtime beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, more revelations have come to light, suggesting that the Canadian rapper is probably in bed with the Hells Angels. It all started in 2018 when Drake released a song he titled God's Plan. He used the number 81 in a verse in the song.
Well, I gotta turn it down now because I don't want Drake doing nothing.
Others believe he was repping the Hells Angels in the video, but the 2018 hoodie incident shed more light. The 2018 hoodie incident. Let's go back in time to 21st August, 2018. Travis Scott posts a picture on Instagram featuring himself and Drake. Seems harmless, right? Wrong, because the internet erupted when they noticed Drake's hoodie.
Rapper and local sweetheart Drake is getting called out for a controversial wardrobe choice.
This wasn't just any hoodie. It was essentially a billboard for the Hells Angels, and it raised eyebrows and questions. Was Drake a secret member of the Hells Angels?
Now,
Angels? Or was he just showing support? The dark-colored hoodie had the slogan, "Support Downtown Big Red Machine," and the number 81. And if you are familiar with the gang world, you'll know that both the slogan and the number 81 refer to the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club.
He wears red most of the time.
Okay.
Even at a Blue Jays game, you'll see that he'll have something red.
Even the mayor of Toronto at the time weighed in on the matter.
I don't think anybody should be going and buying, Hells Angel attire and wearing it.
This incident happened in August 2018, and at the time it was mere speculation. Many people suspected that Drake was an undercover Hells Angels member, a quiet member who didn't want to draw the public's attention.
The authorities warned that Drake was an influential person and that wearing the hoodie was a way of giving free publicity to the Hells Angels, and the matter died down. But a year later, something unexpected happened. Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. Fast forward to July 2019. An Instagram user called out Drake for trying to appear tough by associating with the Hells Angels. Drake's savage reply to the comment seemed to suggest that there was some truth to the accusation.
A celebrity like Drake obviously receives hundreds or even thousands of comments daily, but reacting to this particular comment out of the hundreds should mean something. That Drake was triggered by this comment could be an indicator that the Instagram user's claims had a bit of truth.
And so, but he knew what he was doing. He was wearing this Hells Angels thing. I think he was looking for street cred. Hells Angels aren't at fault for it. I don't know how they really feel about this guy doing it, but I don't think they're involved with him. I don't think he's a member. I think he just wants to look like he's a tough guy.
Joe, I think you're really onto something profound here.
But then things took a darker turn when Drake's beef with Kendrick Lamar escalated.
Well, there is a lot to unpack in the Drake and Kendrick Lamar feud.
A lot to unpack here. The two legendary rappers going at it all weekend, each making some very wild accusations about the other. And here to break it all down for us is our Monday morning QB himself, Mike Muse. Good to see you, man.
In just 72 hours, they released 5 diss tracks aimed at each other. These tracks weren't just about music. They contained deep personal jabs and revelations.
A long-standing feud between rap artist Drake and Kendrick Lamar is once again heating up after the release of diss tracks back-to-back, and we really mean back-to-back-to-back-to-back. In a flurry of activity, the two artists have now put out 8 songs in the past month, but where and when did it start, and what's behind it?
Since these beef tracks were released in the heat of the moment, they contained some deep messages.
On the 5th of May, 2024, Drake released a diss track which he titled The Heart Part 6, responding to one of Lamar's claims. In the track, he used the lines, "My Montreal Connects stand up, not fall down. The ones that you're getting your stories from, they all clowns."
This was a response to Kendrick Lamar, who had earlier claimed on a previous diss track that he had sources in Drake's camp. Drake also mentioned that he had some Montreal connections. It is believed that the Canadian rapper was referring to his contacts in the Hells Angels. References to his Montreal connects. Drake released a video and a figure who appeared at the end of the video and got everybody talking.
At the end of the video of the diss track titled Family Matters, Drake could be seen talking to a man. According to some fans, the man in the video is one of the leaders of the Hells Angels West End and previously managed a store that sold licensed Hells Angels merchandise. According to rumors, the man in the video is Andrew Kernew, a known Hells Angels associate who lives in Bridle Path 2.
The Hells Angels are known to be a racist motorcycle club, even though they have refuted these claims from time to time. In fact, black people are not allowed to join the Hells Angels. But George Christie would have you believe otherwise.
A few days ago, I interviewed a British brother named Peter Triton, and he was an international cocaine trafficker who got caught up in Ecuador and ended up doing a decade in their insane prisons, right?
This makes sense why they would support Drake over other black rappers. For example, in the ongoing beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, the Hells Angels supported Drake over Lamar. Why? Because Kendrick Lamar is black. Even though he tackles big topics like racism, self-worth, and speaks against authorities, he's automatically disqualified from the Hells Angels support due to his skin color.
And we hate Popo when they kill us dead on the street for sure. Hit her, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might
Did you catch that? Lamar stated his views on police brutality with that line in the song, quote, "And we hate the Popo, want to kill us in the street, faux show." KG.
Please. I don't like it. I mean, I don't like it. That's why he came to me. I get it. That's his right to express himself. Let the free market decide. Personally, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't turn me on. Doesn't interest me. I'm not feeling it.
Drake, featuring an alleged Hells Angels kingpin in his video, has established a connection between him and the MC. On the other hand, Kendrick Lamar's color can be said to be the reason the Hells Angels chose Drake over him.
But then the whole beef got even worse and didn't look like a coincidence. The Drake House shooting incident, May 7th, 2024.
Breaking news out of Toronto. A shooting has occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake, the incident occurring in the wake of Drake's ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar.
Drake's Park Lane Circle mansion becomes the scene of a violent attack. At around 2 a.m., a vehicle approaches the house and shoots one of Drake's security guards before fleeing. The security guard sustained several gunshot wounds, including one to the chest, and was rushed to the hospital.
This morning at about 2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working apparently as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation.
However, it was unclear whether Drake was home or not at the time of the incident.
Is he cooperating with this investigation?
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
But this was just the beginning. Just a few days after this shooting, another incident happened at Drake's apartment.
Another arrest has been made at Drake's Bridle Path mansion in Toronto. Footage sent to CTV News shows 3 security guards standing over a man on the property. Police say they were called around 1:30 this afternoon for reports of someone trespassing.
Since the shooting happened during the beef, many people attributed the shooting to the feud between the two rappers. But this was what the authorities had to say about the speculation.
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time. And so I cannot comment further on that.
Was Drake's affiliation with the Hells Angels a bid for protection, or was it making him a target? Despite the security measures at his heavily fortified home, the repeated incidents suggest that this connection might be drawing more danger than safety.
Since the shooting, Drake's apartment has experienced multiple trespassing incidents, raising questions about his safety. So the question we all have in our minds, is Drake joining the Hells Angels for protection owing to his current beef with Kendrick Lamar, or he's just supporting the hood he grew up in? Regardless of his reason, it seems he just chose the wrong time to align with the Hells Angels.
The wrong partnership timing. If Drake is working with the Hells Angels, it might be the worst possible time. There are rumors of a brewing war between the Canadian Hells Angels chapters and the Italian Mafia, particularly the Rizzuto crime members, which is a branch of a New York crime family. This conflict forces various gangs to pick sides, with many likely supporting the Hells Angels due to their dominance in Canadian streets.
This is not one where you sit on the fence. Groups like BFM, Blood Family Mafia, Soderno Group, Outlaws, Sam Gore Syndicate, and UN Gang will have to pick a side. And most will support the Hells Angels since they control most streets in Canada.
Pledging allegiance to the Hells Angels guarantees the safety of these street thugs. However, Drake associating himself with the Hells Angels during a time of war with the Mafia is a bad decision. The best he would get from it is making himself a target. Whatever route Kendrick Lamar-Drake beef takes, one thing is certain, the truth it has brought to light cannot be undone. As the rivalry continues, more revelations will hopefully give us the big picture of Drake's alleged affiliation with the Hells Angels.
Now, as you can see right there, They mad because he won't go down easy. I thought you guys wanted a challenge. Well, the challenge is on the microphone, right? The microphone. That's the ones and twos on the mic. This don't make you the better rapper. Now, you a street dude or you a rapper? Which one is it? This is supposed to be about the skill set on the microphone, which we all know Drake has lost. You lost. Take your L like a man and go make your cheesy songs. That's why I let you guys listen to it, so you wouldn't have me talk about it, because I don't know about biker gang culture. So as you can see, that guy seems to know a lot about biker gang culture and what's happening over there in Canada. So I brought it to you so that you guys would know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You killed Jackie. And where did you think that was going to go? Relationship with her that you have with your master.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Drake's gonna have a come to Jesus talk with himself. Mm-hmm. So on that note, don't forget to go to the Patreon. We could talk a little bit more in depth about this, because yeah, we're gonna go a little harder over there. So here we kept everything, basically casual. But we invited the people from Canada to come over because they have more information on it than we do. We don't, you know, yes, we don't have the most knowledge on Canadian gang life. So we just talk and what we know, and we gave y'all the information. So now you know what I know. Canada must be bored. Are you all tired of trying to be nice? Yeah, Canada has always got the reputation of being extra kind. Zeno, you out here looking for revenge, huh? Come on, man. Not because your first nemesis got the drop on the first beef, you gotta be sour about Canada. What are you talking about? What? I'm sour about Canada. One, I can't stand Rick Ross. Two, this looks bad on Drake. I'm talking as a person. This is bad, period. Yeah, well, yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a harshness against Canada, period. You see, the few always mess it up for the many. So just because these idiots that happen just to reside in Canada did such a bad thing, the bigger problem is that we have on the table yeah. No. Yeah, we're gonna continue that over there. I'm starting to feel like I don't trust Canada. What they used to say on South Park? Blame Canada. South Park got y'all feeling different. But no, just as a person, it don't even matter. Hell, he could be in Switzerland. Why would you align yourself if you're the biggest artist in the world? Right? Why are you aligning yourself with a biker drug gang who's doing illegal activities when you're getting the key to the city, you're getting all of this praise in high places? You are a part owner or getting a percentage from the Toronto Raptors, an NBA business, and you want to tie yourself to criminal gangs? You just pay for bond security and keep it moving. When you start doing things and moving this manner, you think Tom Brady runs around with the biker gangs? You think right? You think Tom Brady is hanging out with gangbangers and the Bloods are protecting him, or the Crips or whatever? You know, like, come on. Drake, you got to make smarter decisions, man. This is going to come back, and it's not going to age well. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys that came out and supported. Thanks everybody from Canada who came in here to support it. We opened it up for you guys to come in this chat. Thank y'all for educating us Americans on what's going on over there. Because, like I said, a lot of us don't know about Canadian biker life. This isn't a hate for Canada. This is the hate for the morons that's messing it up for Canada. Canada needs to really apologize. Well, Canada has, the government has, the city said they are against them. So, you know, the rest is history. I'm not comparing this situation to Tom Brady when Tom Brady is not rolling around with gang members to protect him. That's just showing you the difference of class and stature. But I'm